Welcome everybody.
What's happening?
Another episode of Business Funding and Whiskey.
We
Now,
should call it business funding and wine because you're drinking wine. Is that wine that I'm seeing?
yeah, you actually saw wine.
You
Today
really
I
gotta
have a
make
pour. I have a pour, Pier 69. Actually, somebody gave me this, and it is nice. Trust. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm drinking wine today. It's supposed to be a whiskey type of night, but today I'm drinking some wine. It's pretty good though.
I'll drink double the amount of whiskey then.
Look at that.
Oh, nice. Man, you're so bougie. Oh, man. What am I doing over here? Sorry.
Man, you keeping it up for me. Thank you. You actually drinking for both of us. I'm make sure we stay up and classy. There we go. You got some Jack Daniels.
Can't go on Carnival Cruise Lines because of this, but that's
really?
a story for another time.
That's a story for another day. No, but guys, so today, welcome to everybody that's coming in right now. Wow, 725 people already.
Let's go.
Let's do this. Whiskey. So, business funding and whiskey. When we talk about business, everything that has to do with business, operation, sales, you name it, everything, marketing, funding. How do you fund it? How you find the money to actually start your business. And a lot of times we talk about our personal credit because guess what? We all started that way, right? You all start in one way, and your personal credit is always essential because no matter where you start in your business, you will always be that personal guarantor. And that's something that you got to keep in mind. You got to take care of your house, your home first, meaning your credit, your personal credit before you actually start doing your business. But there are different ways in which you can start now working on your business credit. And that's what we show you here. And that's what we teach you as a company, as the service that we provide to you. But then at the same time, we love to drink some whiskey, which is drinking whiskey. And he's getting on me because I got wine. So salute to all of you.
Yeah. Hey, salute. Regardless, it's
all right, man. So today is only me and Brock and I. We usually have a guest, but today we wanted to keep it more intimate. We want to talk about some of the wins, some of the things that we've been seeing this past week, some of our clients, and some of the wins. I mean, amazing wins that we had this week. So
let's hear about it, Carlos. Come on now.
Let's recap. So we had a new client that we onboarded. So he actually came in one of the special packages that we provide that work directly with me and with our team right up there. So we were able to actually get him. I mean, and again, I'm gonna tell you price. Should we tell him price?
No. Let him call in for the price.
Okay, good. So you know, this person was able to get, let's say, they 20x. They never 10x it. They double that 10 in what they were able to make in hours just on the phone with me and our team. And we're able to help him out and give him the strategy on how he was able to get all this funding. So he was able to get a little more. It was like about $255,000 in one day. That's just in credit cards for business only. And that wasn't personal. And not only that,
Carlos, that happened in one sitting, right? Like you and him on the phone.
That happened in one city. And so that's some of the things that we have and that we are able to do for you guys. But you know what? We just want to talk about our wins. We love to start with everything that sets our mind right to continue talking and continue bringing to you. And that's how we start out every day. Hey, what was our win for yesterday? And what was some of the wins that we had that we want to, and some of the things that we want to accomplish for today. But the win today that we want to bring to you guys is we want you to see some of the things that we are being able to accomplish. And that makes us feel good. And again, the investment that he was able to add to bring into the company or to his company is immensely. I mean, whatever he invested to actually get in this, I mean, he could just walk out of here right now and he already got his money worth. And that's what we want to make sure that
more than his money's worth. So, I mean, that's massive, Carlos. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about, $250,000 in one sitting. Now, we work with our clients for 12 months. I mean, really, they have access to our program for a lifetime, but you're talking about somebody who just came into our program for 1 week and is walking out with $250,000. Do you think the guy's happy?
Oh, he's amazing. Matter of fact, you're gonna see him in one of our testimonials. That right there is one of the testimonials. And don't get me wrong, he's like one of the not anomaly. Everybody else is getting wins. We still haven't seen one client that haven't gotten wins, but this guy just got it in one sitting. All the ones I'm getting in between 30 to 60. And some of the things that we do, we guarantee in 90 days, right? That's what we do. That's our big audacious claim. 90 days. You know what? We could definitely help you out. And that's something that we do. Or that's something that we could do.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Dude, that is Carlos, that's massive for that client. You know, I mean, going from maybe, I mean, I don't want to go into too much of the client's details, but
yeah,
you know, we have a lot of clients that come into our programs that are looking for funding to provide financial security for their business, right? So it could be like they want to make sure that they can cover payroll for slow times. Let's talk about a landscaper, right? So right now it's starting to get a little cold. If you live in the northern states,
yeah,
you don't have as much business as you did in the summer, but you want to keep your employees. You want to make sure that you keep your marketing, everything, because it ebb and flows. Just because your business needs money does not mean that it's failing, right? Quite the opposite. Most companies go through these like ups and downs where, hey, I need a little bit of money now. Let me pay it back then. I need a little bit more money here. Let me pay it back when business gets booming here for landscaping. But imagine like you've got to buy inventory, right? Let's say that you own some type of shop and you know business is booming in that industry in a specific set of months. That allows you to buy all that inventory at a low cost during the slump. It's like going in July to buy Christmas stuff, or you know, whatever your holiday is. Going and buying all that stuff, you're going to get it for pennies on the dollar, as you would buying it in December or January, whatever the case may be for your specific holiday. But like that's what we're talking about right now, and that's just inventory wise. So all businesses ebb and flow, and I mean that's massive for any company. You know, name one company, Carlos, that doesn't go into debt consistently. That's a big company. Everybody does.
Everybody does. And something you got to keep in mind is sometimes, I mean, that's the actual flow of business. You're gonna have your downs and your ups, and when you are in your down, that's when you need to double down. That's when they tell you now market, because this is the thing, like he's saying, in the summer, that's when the best time to actually buy Christmas stuff. So imagine that you actually are able to now pull lines of credit and market your business and being able to actually come out with a special. And people are pre-buying the services. Something that you have to keep in mind when people pre-buy service, most of the time, probably 50% of the time, people still don't use it. That amazes me, or how people just pre-buy something they never use it. They buy it and sometimes ends up in the shelf. How many systems have you ever bought and ended up in the shelf? But what I'm trying to say, you as a business, this is the time that you actually want to make sure that you double down on your business. You want to be able to market. You want to be able to get to the new ways in which your competition is not, because that is the flow. And they know that, okay, now when it comes to, let's just say, the new summer, the spring, that's when I'm going to start doing the spring cleaning. So for example, I see, and one thing that my landscaper does best, I don't know, for some reason, the little, what's it called, the gimbal just started moving itself, and he moved itself. So sorry to everybody in TikTok. But one of the things that my landscaper does best is during the winter, he actually offers himself to not only remove snow, but at the same time give us specials for the spring cleaning and the summer. And that is amazing. I have not seen, like, throughout my years being a real estate investor, this is the first landscaper that I ever seen doing that. And just because he's doing that, he gets my business, because I completely forget. And sometimes I instead of being, I react to the things. And sometimes I even forget. In the past, I even forget. So something else that you got, like sprinkler system for your house. That's another thing that people always forget. You turn them on at the last minute. But let's just say you have a sprinkler system company, and you actually now are able to get lines of credit to market yourself and make sure that you stay in your customer's mind constantly. Who are they going to actually call when they really need something? You or the competition that pops up in Google when they search it. So that's
So, I mean, Business 101, guys, for those of you who are joining us today, Business 101 is the longest money wins. If you can spend more than your competitor in marketing, you are going to outproduce your competitor, right? So what we're talking about right now is you as a business owner, and if you don't own your own business, you better listen up, because this is a fundamental ground rule, is that you need to be consistently spending money. So me as a business owner, let's say that I open up a brand new business tomorrow. I live in a highly populated city. I want to be able to market with the big dogs. How do I do that without any revenue? Well, the answer is I need to leverage my business credit in order to make sure that I can actually pay for all of this marketing, pay for my payroll, and of course, pay myself. Guys, if you're a business owner out there and you're not paying yourself, not only are you missing out on massive, massive tax deductions, but you want to make sure that you can afford a lifestyle that your employees want to achieve, right? That's a whole different organizational conversation that we can have. But I mean, don't forget to pay yourself. That's my quip. And
no, you're right. Even man, you know, there's retirement systems that you could put together for yourself being a business owner. And people don't think about that. People don't just think that, okay, well, I'm a business owner, I pay bills, I pay my employees, and I pay myself a salary. No, you could even do a retirement plan out of everything. You could invest into your company. You could do what's called an IUL, an universal life insurance, in which you could put under the business. The business can own now real estate properties and still be able to lend you money. Alone, your own business can lend you money, and you can make money while you actually get the money back. Pay the business, and the business pay the IUL, which is your own life insurance or your business, however you want to structure it. But what I'm saying is that there are so many ways that you can do. Always find someone that can help you out, guys. Being a business owner is very rewarding. I'm gonna tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's rewarding than just working for somebody else. I tell you that because I personally, I don't know. Have you worked for anybody in the past? I mean, were you a 9 to 5 type of guy? Or you always?
Man, I've worked for plenty of business owners in the past, right? And you know, typically what these individuals tell me is it's a thankless job, right? It's a job that that nobody really appreciates, right? So your employees resent the fact that you're the owner, and they don't understand all the things that go on in the background, right? How much you pay in Google ads every single week, or you know, how much you really pay to acquire a client, right? All they see is, well, what do I get out of it, right? So it is a very thankless job, and it's not for everybody. So Carlos, if it was for everybody, you know, we'd have just as many small business owners as we have the population of the United States, and that's just not the fact. There's a lot of lazy people out there. I was about to say something, but there's a lot of lazy people out there that just want easy, right? They don't want to increase their lifestyle. They don't want to. They don't want to get better at what they're doing. They just want to be normal. Right. So, and if that's you, hey, more power to you, man. You're awesome. You're an awesome consumer. I appreciate you. But business owners, thank you so much. It's a hard and thankless job, and we appreciate you. That's why Carlos does what he does. That's why I do what I do. Is that our mission is to help business owners, right? We want to make sure that business owners can get ethical funding, guys. And I'm going to go on a little tirade here about ethical funding. There's so many companies out there that want to make sure that they get your money. That's it, right? And then they want to provide you whatever funding that they can, and they don't care about the outcome. Meaning, you know, there's a lot of companies that will promise you money, and they'll say, hey, listen, this is your money now. Why don't you go ahead and buy gift cards with your credit cards? They're unsecured. And at the end of 18 months, when your business credit card is 0% APR, you're stuck with anywhere from a 12 to 24% interest rate that you're paying on that. And guess what happens is your business collapses because you can't afford to pay your employees, you can't afford to pay the money back, and you can't afford to pay daily expenses Does that funding company care? Hell no. They wash their hands of you. They said, thank you for the money. I appreciate you. See you later. Right. And that's where we're different, guys. We want to take an ethical approach to business funding, business lending. We want to help you out through your entire process. That's not, I mean, and Carlos, that's not only why you supply your massive loan network, but you also help with SEO. You also help with maximizing earnings. I mean, and when you should exit your company. There's no other companies out there that are going to coach you on when you should sell your company, right? And get you funding. That's not a thing. And we understand that, every company should have an exit plan.
You know what? I think that's what we should do. And again, don't believe anything I say. Don't take anything that we say as gospel, but always do your own research. Because I want you to make sure that you understand this.
Yes.
Because you know what? At the same time, we're talking about ethical funding. Always look beyond the money that you can get today. I've seen it so many times. I've seen so many other companies that it irks me. Even with companies that I have worked with in the past that I was part of being an investor, the way that they went about, and this is why we formed this business. This is why we formed the software to help out the community, to help out the business owner, because they don't tell you the end results. They don't tell you that when they give you all these credit cards, which is something called credit card stacking, which is nothing wrong with that, as long as you know how to use it. Think about this. Credit card stacking, the whole concept of credit card stacking is they'll stack your personal cards and your business card. Only want to get you, let's just say $80,000, and you could get $2,000, $10,000, and they're gonna run your credit as many times as possible in order to get you that amount. They do it's called credit card stacking because they stack one on top of the other until they get you what you need. Period. Now, something that you have to keep in mind is, yes, you will, for the most part, and at 100% of the times, you will get what's called a soft pull, meaning that they're not going to check your credit, or they're going to check your credit, but they're not going to pull it. That it's not going to be a hard pull that it's not going to affect. That is the pre-qualification.
Right.
Now, if you decide to go through with it, any company, and I'll tell you that, any company, they are going to run your credit as many times as possible, because now you need to qualify for all of these credit card companies in order for them to get you, let's just say in this case, as an example, an $80,000. It could be 2 increase, it could be 10 increase. So keep in mind, anytime that you get approved for a credit card or for a loan, for whatever, your credit score will diminish between 1 to 2 points. Anytime that you get disqualified, it will decrease between 3 to 5 points. So you make the math. Let's just say that you are lucky and you get qualified for all 10. That means about 20 points that you're going to diminish. But if you get disqualified for some of those, how much more you're going to? Now, think about this. Is this company teaching you and helping you how to remove all of these inquiries? Because that's going to affect, and your score is going to lower. If you were at the 700, all of a sudden you're going to end up in the 600s.
Right. And Carlos, I mean, why is that so important? Because multiple inquiries show financial instability. Not a lot of people know that, right? So if I go out and apply for multiple lines of credit, in let's say a week, what happens is that any future lines of credit that I try to get approved for, the lender or the bank says, whoa, what's going on? Are you expecting to lose your job? Are you expecting a health crisis? Are you expecting some way not to pay back these bills, and you just want to get all this money up front so you can spend it? So that's massive. So I'm sorry, Carlos, continue.
No, you're right. So think about that. Not only you actually getting those inquiries and your credit score is going down, let's just say you were in the 700 all the way to the 600s, but if you have personal credit cards, anything above a 30% utilization in your credit cards will affect you. A lot of these companies will not tell you this, and I look, we'll put our company in front of you. Make sure that you ask each one of them, and they could call our office if they want to. Any company that don't tell you how is this going to affect you is not being truthful to you.
Right.
In the business side, there's no such thing as utilization. So if you get a $10,000 credit card, use all $10,000. Now, if you pay them on time, that's what's going to evolve. That's what's going to actually develop your business credit. But let's just say that now you got $50,000 out of those $80,000 in personal credit. Let's just say you got it. Now, what is it? 30% out of $50,000 is about
70%
15,000.
ish.
$15,000. Yeah,
Oh,
15,000.
oh, oh.
So let's
Yeah.
just say you should only be using $15,000 out of those $50,000 in personal credit cards. Remember, you needed 80 and you got 30 in business. Now 15 that you can only use or you should be using. Now that's only giving you 45. That defeats the purpose of what you just got because you needed 80 to do whatever you needed in your business. But now, we advise you to only use 45 because if you use all of that, now you are going to 100% utilization. And I'm going to tell you that this happens. It has happened to me twice. When I had to go all the way to 100% utilization, my credit score has dropped down more than 100 points. We're talking about an 800 to close to a high 690, 680 something. So now think about the dip that your credit score is going to take and where you are going to be because you're starting a business, and no business when you start makes money right away. You need to
Right.
season, you need to create tenure, you need to develop everything, you need to develop your clientele. Now if you need more money to move forward, how are you going to do it when now you're showing the creditors that your credit score is not only low, but you're using every credit available? What's going to happen is that you are going to find yourself in a situation which you're not going to be able to create or get any more credit. It reminds me of a time when I used to own gas station. You laugh about this one.
I thought you were going to give us a parable. All right, go ahead.
It reminds me of a time when I used to own gas stations. And what happened when you own a gas station? You really don't make much money on a gas. You only make about 5, 6, sometimes even 10 cents on the gas on the gallon, depending on your competition. But my corner was a VP gas station, and I had a Shell, Mobil, and Speedway right in every corner. So if we have 4 gas stations in the same corner, and this thing keeps moving. Sorry, guys, in TikTok. It's one of those things that automatically senses the movement. So I turn it up. It's for some reason decides to turn itself back on, and it senses my movement and it moves.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So sorry, TikTok. So one of the things is that our gas station back then was a tobacco gas station. So in other words, you make money on the convenience store. Whatever you sell in that convenience store, it could be potato chips, it could be whatever you sell in there. Ours was tobacco. Back then, I think it was what was that, like 2013, when the whole movement that they're trying to ban tobacco, feed the fuse on pens came out, and all of those things start affecting the tobacco industry. And we really didn't make our books the way we needed to make our books because unfortunately I also had a very hot hands type of business partner.
Were you stealing cigarettes, Carlos? Is that what's happening?
I was smoking them in the back because I couldn't smoke them in the front. No, but you know what? We didn't make our books properly. So we didn't have the money in order for us to leverage and balance our books at the end of the month. Because when you sell tobacco, you sell it out of loss. So let's just say you buy a carton for $100. You got to sell it for $80. And at the end of the month, the tobacco company gives you a kickback of almost 40%. So you still make between 10 to 20% on each carton plus what you actually sell it for in the market. But you need to be able to balance that out. And if you don't balance that out, then you won't have any more money to buy any more merchandise in order to continue the sale. So just like that can happen to you. Now imagine that you are not able to now get more credit because X company didn't tell you all of the factors that were going to happen from the beginning, from you losing credit, from you losing a credit point, or your credit score going down, and for you to actually being able to use so much credit that now your credit score was even going to go even lower. Now you cannot buy inventory, you cannot buy merchandise. How is that going to affect your business? Are you going to go out of business? Are you going to have to sell your soul in order to keep the business alive? That's a question that you need to ask yourself. And all of this happening is because that company that you chose to go with didn't tell you all the repercussions of what you could do. They just cared about what they were able to give you at the moment, and how you use it, that it didn't matter. So
right.
that's when we talk about ethical lending. Go ahead, bro.
No, 100%. Carlos, and you said something really important, right? You said, listen, if my personal credit is going to be affected, what's the threshold? It's 30%.
Yeah.
So that's what I need to keep my personal credit utilization. For those of you who don't know what utilization is, that's what you owe. So if you had $1,000 credit card, you would need to keep it under $300 in order to make sure that you don't go above that 30%.
Correct.
When you go above the 30%, that means that your credit score is going to get hurt. Okay. It's going to go down because you went over 30%. Yep. Now, in order to increase your credit score, the best credit score, or the best utilization rather, to have on your credit profile is somewhere between 2 to 5%. Okay. So, and again, guys, here, if you're watching us and you're wanting to know how to increase my personal credit, guys, don't pay off your credit card bills in full. Okay. No. What happens when you do that is that, well, let me put it this way. You have to understand what credit cards are. Okay. They're a source of income for your banks. So let's say you have a Bank of America credit card. The only way that they make money off of you is for you to actually spend that money. So when you pay that thing off in full and you don't pay any interest on it, they don't make any money. Okay. It is a shark eat shark world out there when it comes to your credit. Yeah. If you live in the United States. So you've got to make sure that you're spending something, and you've got to make sure that you're paying interest on something. Okay. What I always recommend for my family members that are dealing with any credit issues, and even my wife, I say, hey, listen, pay something on that card. Go out. Like this is a story that she's got. So when we first started dating, she didn't have a credit score. She had a clean slate, a zero credit score. You couldn't find her online. So one of the first things that I advised her to do was go and apply for a credit card. And what we decided to do was go for Banana Republic, right? It's a retail credit card. It's not one of the best in the world. Take it or leave it, guys. If you want to take my advice, whatever. Yeah. And what she does on it regularly is that she buys socks for me. Okay. I'm crazy about socks, crazy socks, but we pay interest on that $10 purchase or that $12 purchase. Yeah. Okay. For a couple of pairs of socks. And what that does is that increases her credit score. And not only that, what she's able to do is ask for credit line increases. If you're not spending money on your credit cards, if you're not paying interest on your credit cards, you're not going to be able to receive credit line increases. It's not going to happen. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that they don't teach you in school is that, cool, listen, I want to increase my credit score. Let me apply for some cards. Let me pay for it on time. Let me pay my entire credit card balance off. That shit is aggravating. Don't do that. Keep a little bit of money on those credit cards. Pay interest on it. Okay. Yeah. If you don't want to go crazy, pay a couple of bucks interest. Mm-hmm. All right. That's going to enable you to get more and more money from the credit bureaus. Okay. And that's going to effectively increase your credit score. Now, why? Is because your credit score there's a couple of different factors when it comes to it, but we're talking about credit card utilization, which accounts for 30% of your score.
Correct.
And with that, right, you're going to need to increase your average utilization. So that way, if you pay a little bit more on something, like let's say you take a vacation, you want to go to Italy or something like that, and you've got thousands and thousands of dollars in credit card utilization, you're not going above that 30%. So that's why we always, or me, whatever, we always recommend, listen, ask for credit line increases. Okay. Yeah. A lot of credit card companies, they don't do a hard pull on your credit profile. Okay. So when you do that, you're getting more lines of credit. Yep. You're not decreasing your credit score. And you're able to keep it at that 2 to 3%, 2 to 5%, much easier than you would be if you had $100 credit limit.
Cool. So, and adding to that, great thing that you could do by asking for a credit line increase is, even though that you may get double or triple of what you already have, it doesn't count as new credit. That's one thing that a lot of people don't
That's
understand.
a good one, Carlos.
That's what
Nobody knows that shit. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. So one thing you got to understand, and trust me, I am going through this one right now. So I'm going to tell you my own pain. So this is why I have to rely in my business credit solely. So I'm the king of actually getting new credit cards and getting new ways and removing credit increase and so on. So over the past almost 24 months since I've been able to acquire more than 65 credit cards. Today, not even my own bank, Chase, wants to give me credit line increase on my personal side because Chase also has something called the 524 rule. So 524 meaning that 5 new lines in the past 24 months, they won't give you anything. Guys, I have personal business. So in reality, I have about 5 checkings accounts, 5 savings, the numerous of credit cards with them, all on time, all get paid, all with credit lines, and I still cannot get a credit line increase. But one of the good things is that if I would have gone to them, let's just say right now I don't have that, but I'm able to go through all of my credit. I got 10 credit cards, and I could ask each one of them for a credit line increase, and they give me a minuscule 10 or $100, $500, $1,000. Keep in mind that little by little, all of this adds up. When you go see your credit report, it still shows like you don't have new credit. You could still go after that, then go apply for more credit cards. So by you doing that and by making sure that you keep your utilization, your paying, and I see this in Google, in YouTube a lot. A lot of people talk about, that don't listen, that you need to have a percentage on your credit card. You could pay it down and that's it. Completely right. You could pay it down and not use it, be dormant. But if you want to get credit line increase, and in this case, we want to use this for business. We want to use this for investment. Things are happening in the world. We may get into a recession. And if you have credit, that is other people's money. That is OPM. You could use a $30,000 credit card and go and buy a piece of real estate. You could use something like that and go buy something that it could bring you some type of investment. So if you want to do it, you want to be smart, you want to be proactive. Because at the end of the day, our goal here is to teach you how to become financially free, create generational wealth, and use it. You don't have to do nothing that we're telling you if you just want to go the other way. Just like he was saying, hey, there wouldn't be any leaders if there were no followers. So if you want to be a follower, be a follower. Don't listen to anything. Get off this live right now. Just give us a thumbs up. Good luck with everything. Just give us a thumbs up. Good luck with everything. But you can use your own personal credit for investments. You could use your business credit and your personal credit as long as you keep your personal credit up to date to open up business credit lines. Because at the end of the day, remember, until your business stands for itself, until you actually put those nuts and bolts, those studs to that house, which is your foundation of your business won't be able to get new credit. Think about this. We were all once 17, 18 years old. And that time that you wanted to get your own apartment or your first car, who had to be your co-signer? Mom or dad, right? Or somebody else that were older than you.
Yeah.
Same thing. Your business is your child. Your child all of a sudden wants to go out there and get a credit card, get a line of credit, and you as a dad or mom need to be that parent that needs to co-sign or personal guarantee that your child is going to pay that bill on time. Same thing. But over time, over months, your child is going to be able to be responsible, pay their bills on time, and all of a sudden start getting credit on its own. Then mom and dad can just realize, my child got it. See, that's your business. So that's what we want to make sure we teach you. But in order to do that, you need to be able to work on yourself first. But at the same time, when you're working on yourself, you could also be working on your business. So
right,
drink to that.
Right. Hey, salute. So guys, don't be scared of credit. There's a lot of people out there in the world today that are giving you insights and education on don't use credit cards. Don't go into debt. So what I have to say about that is that if I never went into debt, I would never have been able to buy multiple cars. I would have never been able to buy multiple homes. Okay. So just be aware of the advice that people are giving you. There's there's no such thing as bad debt or good debt. That doesn't exist, right? As long as you're educated about debt, about what you want to accomplish using, you live in the United States, I'm fucking sorry. You're going to have to use your credit, okay? Don't be scared of it. Don't be a little bitch, as Grant Cardone would say.
Yeah, right? Don't be a little bitch.
Right? Don't be a little bitch. You need to understand credit.
Yeah.
You need to. Right? There's no other option. If you live in some other country, you don't need it, right? Fantastic. Great for you. If you live in the United States, you need to understand credit. You need to understand what affects your credit positively. You need to understand what affects your credit negatively. It's extremely important. If you do not know this, if you are steering away from credit, guess what your kids are going to do? Not only you, I mean, of course you, right? But your kids, if you have kids, they're going to replicate exactly what you do. And guess what's going to happen? The same thing that's happening to you. You are not going to be able to rent an apartment. You're not going to be able to buy a home. You're not going to be able to rent a vehicle, lease a vehicle, or buy a vehicle. There's so many limitations that happen because people are given the wrong advice when it comes to credit. So be smart. Right? If you don't know what you should be doing about your credit, learn from somebody who does know. Apply for credit cards. Okay. Don't do it all at once. Make sure. I mean, Carlos, I've been in the credit game for quite some time. Yeah. I always recommend that people apply for one credit card every 6 months. Yeah. Okay. Would you say anything different?
No, yeah. I mean that's the norm, and that's what you should do. Now, there's aggressive way to do it, and that's some of the ways that we teach you, especially with business. But for that, you need to directly call us. We're not going to talk about this, on the open forum. But yes, advice to you guys: only open to one. But one of the things we got to tell you about this is, with business and with anything that you do in life, even with a relationship with your spouse, with your kids, you need to be consistent. You cannot just tell somebody I love you today and then just wait a couple months, because that relation is going to decay. Same thing with your credit. If you don't take care of your credit, you're not responsible, you not keep applying, you don't keep monitoring and checking, guess what's going to happen? Things are going to go wrong. And the time that you need it is when you won't have it, because the time that you should do it right now is when you don't need it. That's when you actually start working on your personal.
Just like a gun.
There we go. So that's one thing, that's what we want to make sure. And going back to your personal credit, now the amount that you owe, the payments, that's another thing you got to keep in mind, guys. Responsibility when it comes down to your business and credit. You need to make sure you pay your business or your payments on time. You know what? There's something. Just be responsible about it.
Set it up on automatic payments. I mean,
and not only that, because I understand the times could go hard sometimes. If you call your creditors, I guarantee you 100% of the times that they will work a payment plan with you, and you will not incur a late payment, personal or business. Done a couple times. Done it in the past when things were not the way I wanted to go. When I needed to actually play around with money. I call a lot of the creditors and work out a payment plan until I got myself back into play. But guess what? My credit score, my credit was not hurt. I wasn't, I didn't develop, or I didn't get a late payment reported to the credit bureau, because that automatically will affect you for years to come. So that's something that we all got to keep in mind.
7 years.
There you go, man. 7 years. 7 years. Not only, remember, the inquiries will actually drop off organically after the 24th month and the 25th month, or after 2 years, and late payments will actually, just like having a collection, 7 years. Right?
I mean, yeah. I could go on like a tangent about this, Carlos, because I feel so fiercely about it. And like, I have family members, I have friends that, I'm not going to name names here, but there's some really big names out there that tell you to stay away from credit. Don't apply for credit cards. Don't do this. Don't do that. Well, that's great and all if you've got millions of dollars in the bank. fantastic.
But
Stay away from credit. Don't ever use it. I'm game for that.
Let me put it this way. We all want to emulate celebrities, right? We all want to have the look. We all want to have the body that a lot of celebrities, not me, some other people want to. You want to look like anyone? So what I'm saying, we always want to emulate someone. Why not emulate the big companies that are making millions, billions of dollars?
Google, right?
Google, YouTube. They are actually borrowing billions of dollars. And guess what? They have that amount that they're borrowing plus in order to pay for cash. So why are they not paying out for cash and we have to? Why would you think you are that special to actually have to use your cash and not save it or invest it and borrow money? Why do you think they're doing it? You know what? We should emulate what the successful companies and people are doing and then learn from them. That's what we like to do. We like to study the professional. We like to study the successful in order for us to emulate and make it better and bring it to you.
Right.
So,
I want to study somebody who's been where I am. Right. So, I my first apartment, Section 8 housing. Okay. I grew my credit.
I'll tell you my story in a minute. You're gonna laugh about this.
I made some massive mistakes when it came to my credit. I didn't have the guidance. I didn't have the know-how. It was only through years of the industry that I learned what I should be doing with my credit, that I shouldn't be afraid of it. I shouldn't be scared of it. I should be utilizing it. And it's the only reason that I've been able to purchase multiple homes, that I've been able to purchase multiple vehicles. If I took the advice of some guy who said, hey, listen, stay away from credit altogether, don't ever get a credit card, I would still be living in Section 8 housing. Honest to God, right? That's not what we want for anybody. If you live in Section 8 housing, hey, listen, we're not pulling strings at you or anything like that. I've been there. I know how it goes. So, but you can get out of that. You can understand credit. You can understand the intricacies when it comes to credit, and you can leverage that credit to get whatever you want in life. The best things in life are for the people who have an 850 credit score. And actually, a 781 is the same as an 850. So if you have a 781 credit score, you can get whatever you want, right? Be that person. Don't be afraid of credit. Understand what you need to do with credit in order to make sure that you are not going delinquent, that you're paying your bills on time, and more opportunities will present themselves. I promise.
True. And again, we're not knocking you out because you're in Section 8 welfare. Like you said, it was in Section 8. I was in welfare when I first came to this country. But something that we got to keep in mind is that, unfortunately, we were not taught. Like, honestly,
nobody was.
Very few people are taught this game of credit, the game of money, the game of investing.
Carlos, there's a reason that nobody's taught this shit. Right?
There's a reason why this is an opportunity for you to actually get ahead. Because it wouldn't be an opportunity if we would learn this in school.
If everybody had an 850 credit score, our economy would collapse. So there's a reason that nobody's teaching you.
Of course, yeah. So another thing, it's like, a little story. So came to the country. So when I first came to the country, unfortunately, I came from my third world country, from Colombia. And we were very poor. My mom was not essential in welfare back then. We used to live in a little basement. My brothers, my two brothers, my mom, my grandma, my sister, and another family in a 2-bedroom apartment. Imagine that. So that everybody knows that I've been in the military for 22 years. I may be a little crazy because of the military, but to this day, my big PTSD that I have is called Turkey. Why is that? Turkey. I'll tell you why. I cannot eat turkey today. I cannot eat turkey. I'll tell you why. Because every Thanksgiving, we would go to the soup kitchens, all the churches, and get turkeys. So we had enough turkeys in a fridge, in a deep freezer, to eat all the way to January. Not only for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I couldn't stand turkey. By the time I actually left to go to the military, I was so happy. A lot of military members hate MRE, so meal ready to eat.
Yeah.
They, dry type of food. That was the best thing that I was able to eat after what I was eating for almost 4 years.
That's
so
hilarious.
but you know what? That tells you that should not be your life. Whatever I went, I said, look, I'm gonna become better at this. I'm gonna be able to live the life that I want, eat what I want, when I want, and whoever I want to. But not only that, I want to teach my kids to be able to do the same. Because if I leave today, one of the best teachings or the legacy that I could leave behind is teach them how to make money, how to control, and how to own credit, how to be able to invest money. Other than just give them a couple dollars, a couple $1,000, whatever I give them. If I give them money today, they're gonna lose it because they don't know how to keep it. They don't know how to make more. So, but if I teach them how to do that, how to multiply that, guess what? They are gonna be wealthy that what I could have been in my lifetime, and that is the best legacy that we could leave for our people that we leave behind.
Facts.
Salute
to that with your wine.
I should put that in a shirt. What do you think?
That's a lot of words to put on a shirt.
I know. Acronym.
Get it wrap around. Like
look at me.
But no, I mean, Carlos, you're absolutely correct. Right? Your kids are going to replicate what you do. So, I hope that my kid understands credit, is not afraid of it, and understands
when is your kid here? When is it coming?
November 28th. But it should be here. I've got my money on November 12th. We'll see.
November 12th.
Yeah.
Why?
But I'm certainly going to educate my child on finance.
Of course, yeah.
Right. So that's so huge. And that was never taught to me by my parents.
Yeah.
I had to join an industry that specializes in exactly that. And not everybody gets the same opportunity to do that. So if I had said, Carlos, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, I bartended for 10 years. Yeah. Right. I didn't know credit. I was surrounded by people we drank until 4 a.m. We did a lot of other really
extracurricular.
But extracurricular, exactly. And I thought I was okay. I thought I was good. I had money. As a bartender, I had cash flow, man. I was making anywhere from $300 to $700 a night. Nice. And I was okay, but I didn't understand that is nothing compared to what credit provides for you. So I had a 500 credit score, and I was making good money. I couldn't buy a home. I couldn't buy any investments. I couldn't do anything other than sit in my apartment, right, and buy a brand new flat screen TV, right? So,
gosh,
I'm so badass. I got this massive flat screen.
But talking about flat screen, have you noticed today? Like back then when we used to buy these TVs, they were like an eye and a leg. Like I would buy a 50 screen TV, it was almost like two grand. And we're gonna talk about real estate in a minute. Once Brock finishes thought. You could use this for Airbnb, but I just bought a what's it called? A 50-inch screen TV, flat screen, smart TV for $270.
That's a little baby. That's a little baby, Carlos. Come on, man. If I could flip this camera around, I'd show you an 85-inch. Let's go. Let's go.
But you know what? You don't want to. Here we go. There we go, baby. So, but you know what? And going back to credit too, it's like we can use credit to invest into different things. For example, the big buzz right now is Airbnb. Love it, hate it. You can make a lot of money if you are able to use your credit to acquire a home, pay as for a lease, or partner up with a owner, furnish the place, and you could use all this credit to do so. You are able to make that money back, and you just use money that wasn't yours. It was your business. Right. All the people's money that doesn't even hurt you. Now you need to make sure you learn the business. You need to learn the game. and be able to actually invest. But what I'm saying is that you have the ability now, what we're saying before, have credit, invest it so it could bring you money. And at the end of the day, it wasn't even your cash. You could have your cash in your bank under your mattress or invest it somewhere else. Never have it under your mattress. That's something that family, my grandma used to do that. My grandma used to do that. I remember, like, so back in Colombia, I remember, like, nobody would go into her room. Nobody would go into her room because that was the bank. And this thing keeps moving. Success. That was the bank. And serious, nobody will go into a room. Why? Because the mattress, for some reason, she had like the box mattress or the box, and in there it was not like the ones here now. It was like almost concrete, but she had a little compartment there, and she had a lot of money. She had a wop over there. A wop. But yeah, but you know what? And then again, it goes back and takes me back to my childhood and everything, or how my grandma, my mom raised me. And to this day, even though that I try to tell this new concept of how to use credit, they still want to teach me that, oh, credit is bad. Credit is going to damage your credit. If you get more credit, a lot of people say that to us. Oh, if I get more credit, it's going to damage my credit. No, it's not. The more credit you have, the lower your utilization gets. Why? Because if you were using $20,000 out of $100,000 and you just got a $10,000, your credit utilization goes even lower because now you're adding more credit to your whole credit that you have available. So the more credit you have eventually is better for you. Now,
right.
If you are responsible enough to use it, that's another thing. Don't think that because you have credit, you could go now to the mall and just purchase everything you want.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm right there with you, Carlos. I had one of those massive jugs, water jugs that they put into like the office space, they turn over and it goes glug, glug, glug. Yeah. I had that before I knew about credit, and I had it filled with like quarters and dimes and dollar bills, 20s. That's where I would put all my extra money, right? And I wasn't the only one in my circle that did that. I didn't understand, man. Like, it didn't make sense to me. Like, why would I want to get a line of credit and pay on it? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And it wasn't until I was involved in that circle. Again, guys, you are who you surround yourself with. So if you're surrounding yourself with like people who don't understand, people who don't value credit, people who don't value their future, you're going to be just like them, right? But if you're surrounding yourself with people who know what they're doing, or they're maybe not even knowing what they're doing, but they're outreaching to individuals. They're like, hey, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? You are going to be that successful person. Okay. But anyway, Carlos, man, like I had these jugs full of like thousands of dollars in my apartment, right? Like water jugs. And, looking back at it, man, it was so funny. I wish I would have done other things with that money. I would have given myself years of a head start, just applying for some credit cards, right? And making payments. Even if my credit was terrible, getting secured credit cards and using that money as a security would have been huge. I would have given myself, a 10-year head start onto where I am today. So, I mean, like, guys, please understand the importance of credit. If you live in the United States, don't take the advice of people who don't have credit. Okay. Unfortunately, and I wish this wasn't the case, unfortunately, we have to build our credit here in the United States. You have to. Or you're cutting yourself off at the neck. And you're never going to be able to get that thing that you want. You're never going to be able to buy that home. And if you are, you're going to have to pay cash. I mean, there's a guy that's pretty famous that says, hey, pay for a home in cash and pay full money. Don't be a bitch. Okay?
And there's a guy that's almost famous to say is, buying a home is not the smartest thing to do. A home, buying your home was actually made by the bank, because in reality, you don't own the home. The bank owns the home. You paying the bank for you to stay in your own house. So keep that in mind too. Like, and again, the man that says that's Grant Cardone. You know, we follow the man. The man's smart. He's
I
gone
love
from.
Grant Cardone. Hey, what does he say? He says, "Rent where you buy and live where you rent."
Yeah, rent where you buy and live where you rent. This is why
Right.
the home.
Can do. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So like,
you're right.
if you're in your 30s, if you're in your 20s, and you've got enough money to buy a home and your credit's good enough, you know, my personal recommendation is pull the trigger, right?
Yeah.
Because you can at least rent that home out later. But again, that's just me. And I love Grant Cardone, man. He's one of my top mentors in this world because he's so financially smart. And he's what is he? He's almost I don't want to say it.
Grant?
He's more than million dollars in debt, right?
Who,
Because
Grant?
So
my Grant is a 2.3 billion dollars in debt. But you know what? That still made him valuable. He's valued at almost $6 billion. And that was a couple months ago. And the guy keeps acquiring thousands and thousands of units.
Of course he does. Yeah.
But you know what? And he always talks about that. Whatever you actually get is a lot. So if you get $1 million in debt, it will allow you to buy 3 times of what you borrow. $3 million. So that means that you all of a sudden by borrowing $1 million, you are worth $3 million. That's just on lamest numbers. This is why he's worth more than $6 billion, man. This is the man that he's been able to actually syndicate the largest amount of money out of everybody in the world till now. So reading, so one of the books that I have read in the past is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. And one of the things that he says is you should start thinking completely different. Think about and start from the get-go. And like you said, like the money that you have, to me, one of the investments that anybody should have, if you have little money right now, the first investment should be you. Anything that you have between the 6 inches between your ears, that should be your first.
For me, it's like 8 inches. Have you seen this forehead?
As an overgrown, the pinky and the brain. Remember that?
No, I'm 100% the brain. Let's go. Take over the world every day.
Take over the world every single day. So you know what? That would be the first thing that you should start investing in. That's one of the things that Grant always talk about. You laughing? So
I'm having a good time with you, Carlos.
There we go, brother. There we go. So that's one of the things that Grant also talk about. Is like, oh, look, you got $1,000 because a lot of people say, hey, I have $1,500. What should I do? Is invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself. Get a mentor. Get a coach.
Get a coach. Get someone that can teach you how to get from point A to point B the fastest way. Because if you do it yourself, you're gonna go zigzagging. You're gonna take you so much more time. In the way, you might just get tired and say, F it, I just want to give up. You need someone that tells you, hey, get off your ass and get over there now. This is the way you should do it. That didn't work. Snap out of it. Go the other way. And that's what you need sometimes. You need some tough love. That's why they talk about, tough love sometimes from a father or motherly love. Same thing with a coach. A coach or mentor is someone that's not going to baby you. Somebody that is going to tell you how things are today so that you can be successful the fastest way. That should be another shirt.
Listen, man, I got an entire topic about
apparel. Coaching. Okay, coaching.
So, apparel. That too, man. Got it. Listen, like I think what we went over today is so valuable. If you're watching us, if you're listening to us, and you want to build your credit, right? And you want to afford a home, a vehicle, you want to do those types of things, it's imperative that you're making the right decisions. Don't listen to people who don't have a credit score, okay? Like Carlos, man, I was talking to a client the other day who had a 480 credit score.
Wow.
A 480, and was telling me how I should feel about their credit score. Like, oh, well, I'm so important. I I'm so good at my credit. Come on,
Really?
you're at a 480 credit score. Nothing wrong with that. I've been there. Like I've literally been there in your shoes, in the seat that you're sitting in, not doing anything.
Correct.
I understand that, right? So please, guys, if you've got a bad credit score, focus on building your credit score. If you want to open up a business, focus on building that personal credit score. And I know that we can help you.
Yes.
Okay. I know that that's a reality. We focus on helping small business owners every single day. And again, the most ethical way possible.
True.
We don't just want to give you funding. Give you funding and then we're going to wash our hands of you. That's not the case.
Yeah.
We want to get you funding. We want to coach you on the right steps to take for your business so that way you're able to use that funding to grow your business. We want you around. we don't want to wash our hands. We want you around for the next 20 years. Yeah. Okay? Because if you're around for the next 20 years, guess what's going to happen?
You're going to come back and you're going to be bringing more people.
You know what?
One of the things, and we're going to talk about sales very soon, Pat, in next week. One of the easiest sale that the way that we teach is a second sale, meaning the sale that comes by your referral, the sale that comes by someone that you refer because, and think about it. Anytime that you have to refer somebody is because you were happy with the product that you bought, the product that you use, and that's the product. That's when we want to invest most of our time in you, because by doing that, you're gonna make our life so much easier, and we want to help more people. Remember, one of the goals from here is to be able to help more than 10,000 business owners to obtain at least $1 billion in lending. So you're gonna help us doing that. $1 billion, $1 billion, $1 billion. Look at that.
Wow. I don't have a nice t-shirt like you.
Okay, so I should put that in a t-shirt. I did.
No, but seriously, man, like we want to help as many people as possible. And the only way that we can do that is, yes, of course, marketing and bringing new clients on. But the best way that we can do that is by helping one client and that one client telling 3 clients. That's true. That's the best way. We want to get you the funding that you need as a business owner. And then you tell 3 of your business owner friends. Like, listen, these guys were out for my best interest. They got me the lowest terms possible for the best loans possible. That's what we do.
That's what we do. All right, man. Hey, guys, we could go on and on and on, but I know it's 8:30, and I want to make sure that you guys can get to bed. Some of you have to work tomorrow. We got to work tomorrow too, but we love what we do. You know what? We got to continue bringing to you. And if you guys have any questions about anything that we have spoke about or any topic that you guys want us to touch on, to talk about, feel free to send it to us. Trust me, if we don't know it, we'll learn it. And that makes us better, as business owners, as person. And to be able to teach it to you guys, we learn more and more. Because not only that, we can help you, but we can help a lot of our clients too. So don't throw anything at us. Throw anything at us. How to bake a cake. I'll bake a cake if you want me to. I'll teach you how to bake a cake. And we'll touch on a bakery, or how a bakery can actually get money in order to be a successful bakery. If you're a mechanic, you're a trucking company, you're a dentist, whatever you are, bring it on.
Let's go.
Actually, I went to pre-med for 6 months. I didn't tell you that. Pre-med for 6 months, and I decided that was not. And now I decided that was because you got to think about
it. When you decision, because I would not trust you with a scalpel.
but you chose me with a weapon, right? Come on.
I
do. No, but coming from like South America or coming from another country, one of the first things that your parents want you to be is either an attorney or a doctor. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. So that's what I said. What my love was baseball. I decided to stop playing minor leagues. I played minor leagues. Once I heard myself, I said, what is the next thing in order for me not to upset my family? Okay, let me go to pre-med. I finished that semester because I don't like to quit things halfway. But once I finished, I said, this is not for me. The first thing that I saw is, I'm going to prove my family as even I'm even tougher than this. I found the Marine Corps because my dad was in the military. I was a Marine in the past. And I went into the Marine Corps. So, and then but funny thing too is like going from medical, I said, all right, let me go into the Marine Corps and let me try to be an attorney here. So my first job in the military was of a paralegal. I did a year of that. I did a year of that. I said, hell no, I can't do this. I cannot be somebody else's beat. Because that's what you are to the attorneys. Listen, as a paralegal. Man. So I said, nah, you know what? I need to go. And I love, once I start training, I love that. That's why I went into infantry. I became part of the reconnaissance team. I went to a sniper school. So I loved it. But you know what? Once you actually gain a family and you actually see a lot of combat, you go to theater, things change. Things change. But I went from a doctor to what I did to what I'm doing right now. So it's been a hell of a life, guys. We got stories. We got stories that if you guys want to know more about, just ask. We'll go ahead and touch on. We don't want to keep going over here.
No.
All night.
I feel like, I went to school to be a teacher. And I feel like first and third grade is the same as sniper school. You want to kill all those fucking kids. So anyway. We'll probably edit that out.
Yeah. This is live. Okay. No,
I'm sorry, serious. Carlos. It was a terrible experience. I'm ready to go.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Hey guys, no, but thank you for everything. Thank you for actually tuning in with me. I see that we still got a good quantity of people in our live, and we have a good quantity of people in the live with TikTok. And I'm sorry, I put the TikTok gimbal on a new gimbal that we got that automatically senses the movement, and even though that is off, it just turns itself on. I think it's spooky Halloween. This thing is possessed right now. It's looking for me. So like about 5 different times it moved itself and actually searched me. But guys, thank you for actually tuning in. Thank you for being with us tonight. We enjoy what we do. That's why you're here. So, we drink some when we talk.
Let's go.
And we talk about business. Anything have to do with business, funding, and guess what? Alcohol. So, guys, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Until the next time, this is Carlos and Brock. We are part of the Strata Vega Capital, and we want to keep bringing to you more and more content. So, thank you for tuning in with us, and I'll see you in the next session. Take care.